Well, hello and thanks for joining me once more. Welcome to our two-day charity Scramble event here at Ballysally Road in Bangor in Northern Ireland. Well, hello again and welcome back to part 3 of the racing highlights from the two-day charity Scramble held at Craiglantlet in Bangor in Northern Ireland. Now in this video we will be looking at some of the highlights from the Saturday's race programme, with of course the remainder of the footage being concluded in part 4. During the night on Friday night we had quite a bit of rain, so the track has changed substantially in terms of the conditions for this Saturday's race programme. Now that handsome chap that you see there is of course Irish motocross legend Lawrence Spence, who of course was famous for his battle with Graham Noyce at the 1983 British 500 Grand Prix at Farley Castle, when on the last lap Lawrence's gearbox seized and he had to drag his 500 Kawasaki almost 30 yards to cross the finish line. So anyway, we're going to get this Saturday's race programme underway with the pre-77s, pre-70s and pre-65 class. Okay, it looks like we've got a green flag and we're all good to go. Looks like James Thompson has made another good start on that Cecil Pearson Jap, but number 1 coming through there, that looks to me like John Griffiths, who is taking the lead. James Thompson second. It looks like Harry Stitt in third place as they head up Pearson Hill. So as we pick up your race leader, it looks like James Thompson is now your race leader on yet another one of the Cecil Pearson Japs. It looks like John Griffiths is in second with Harry Stitt in third. That's Jap motorcycles in positions 1, 2 and 3. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the track conditions changed from the Friday race programme due to the very heavy rain we had on this racetrack during the night.
So that's the pre-Saturday on 65, James Thompson number 26, the first of 4 laps.
And so as your race leader comes towards us, it's James Thompson in first position. Looks like Harry Stitt is now in second. And I am assuming that that's John Griffiths, number 1 there. John normally, of course, rides at number 33, but I'm just for this point assuming that that is John Griffiths. The number 70 there, that's Martin Stitt. Number 20 is Lee Rook on that very nice 360 CZ. So here is your second place position rider, that's Harry Stitt, number 111. And you can see how these Jap engine machines were originally built for speedway, and Harry looks like he's still on a speedway track with this machine. But here is your race leader as he comes round to complete lap 2. James Thompson riding that 600cc Cecil Pearson Rickman Jap. So once again, here is your race leader, that's James Thompson. James had a very good day at this track yesterday on the Friday. won, I think it was 4 out of 5 races at this event yesterday. Did not win the 5th race due to a slight off-track excursion on his little KX 250 Kawasaki, but he's riding well in this first race here in the Saturday's race programme. And so as your race leader, James Thompson comes up to take the last lap flag. This, of course, is the first race of the day, the pre-77s, pre-70s and combined pre-68 class. So it looks like James Thompson is going to notch up his first win of the Saturday's race programme. Track conditions, of course, at this point were very slippy. So as a race leader, James Thompson heads to the bottom section of the racetrack on his last lap. He seems to have a decent lead on second place man, which is I think still Harry Stitt. James, of course, yesterday on the Friday rode 5 different motorcycles at this event and rode very well in each and every one. So it's the first win of the day for James Thompson on the Cecil Pearson Jap as he takes the checkered flag. Now there is your second place man, that should be Harry Stitt, also riding one of Cecil Pearson's Rickman Japs. So as we move on to the second race of the day, this should be the combined Twinshock D and Twinshock C class race. These classes, of course, on the Friday ran separately, but the organisers have combined both these classes into the one race. Now we have a green flag, so it looks like everything's just about good to go as the starter takes position. 15-second board is up. And we are away with the Twinshock Grade D and Twinshock Grade C class races. Good start there from Callum Wilson and Ian Robertson in second and third position there. So as we look up the hill to pick up our race leader, looks like it's Ian Robertson, number 100 on the 360 CCYZ Yamaha. Callum Wilson there, number 60 on the CR250 Elsinore. Looks like Callum has a bit of a problem with the expansion chamber on his bike. Looks like it's broken a bracket, and Callum looks like he could lose that expansion chamber if he's not careful.
So Burning Grade A and B are now running together as well as the race, so we're calling Grade A and B then. Grade A and B for race number 1. Here coming up next, that's Grade A and Grade B running together, and that will be the next race.
So as we look to the bottom of the track to pick up our race leader, it appears we have a change of leader at the front. Leader now looks like it's number 212, William Stevenson, coming up the hill on his what looks like a YZ Yamaha. Callum Wilson in second position. Number 100 there, that's Ian Robertson, who has now slipped down to fourth position. as they all now make their way up a very slippy and slidey Pearson Hill. So as our race leader comes towards us, it looks like it's still number 212. It's William Stevenson on the YZ, looks like an old YZ465 Yamaha. Ian Robertson there now moving up into second position. Callum Wilson now down in fourth. So there is your race leader in this combined Twinshock D and Twinshock C class race. Callum Wilson, looks like that expansion chamber is hasn't got long for this world, and there is your race leader. In fact, he seems to have had a bit of a spill. William Stevenson, who has dropped down the pecking order, but here is your new race leader once more. It's number 100, Ian Robertson from Blaringone in Clackmannan in Scotland. As you can see, many of the riders finding it very hard to put the power down on this very slippy and slick racetrack. Callum Wilson still circulating there with that Elsinore's expansion chamber dragging on the ground, and hopefully Callum will get it safely back to the paddock after this race. But here's your race leader, number 100. It's Ian Robertson. Ian, of course, an HGV mechanic with Falkirk Council in Scotland. Second place man is still Callum Wilson there, holding on. And you can see that Elsinore's expansion chamber, it looks like it's just the rear mounting bracket that's broken, but hopefully Callum will make it through to the end. But looks like number 212, William Stevenson, has now moved up into second position as we wait for Ian Robertson to come up the hill and take the last lap flag. So it's Ian Robertson in first position. William Stevenson has now moved up into second spot with Callum Wilson there, number 60, in third. So as a race leader descends the hill for the final time in this Twinshock Class D and C class race, the race leader is still Ian Robertson on the 360cc YZ Yamaha. Track still very slippy at this stage due to the very heavy downpour during the night, but most of these riders are coping quite well with it. There's your second position man, number 121, William Stevenson. Callum Wilson is still in third place. So as a race leader, Ian Robertson comes round to take the checkered flag. It's his first win of the day for Ian Robertson. As you can see, still very slidey to try and put the power down coming up that hill. Okay, next up we have the Twinshock Grade A and B classes. Now, if you remember yesterday, these classes ran separately, the A's and B's. But today these classes are combined into one race. So as we just wait on the green flag to get this first Twinshock Grade A and B class underway, 5-second board is up. A good field of riders for this race as they head up the hill. Trevor Calderwood got a good start there. It looks like Willie Burgess has taken the whole shot as they make their way to the far side and head up Pearson Hill. It looks like Willie Burgess is first, David Watson in second position. It looks like Trevor Calderwood is in third. And so as a race leader comes towards us, it's still number 2, Willie Burgess on the 1981 490 Michael. Second, David Watson. David, of course, an X250cc British motocross champion, riding one of Trevor Calderwood's CR500 Hondas. So there is your race leader, number 2, Willie Burgess. David Watson in second position. James Thompson on the Bultaco in third. Trevor Calderwood there in fourth. Number 176 is William Dixon. So as a race leader comes towards us, it's still Willie Burgess, last year's Twinshock over 50s national champion. Second position is David Watson. Third position is James Thompson riding the old Bultaco. Third place, Trevor Calderwood. Fourth position looks like number 176, that's William Dixon. And number 322 there is Philip McCombson. So it's still Willie Burgess, your race leader, with David Watson in second position. James Thompson there doing some speedway style riding on the old Bultaco in third position. As we look at David Watson, your second place position rider. James Thompson appears to be closing in on David Watson for that third place position. But it looks like James's front wheel just washed out there, and he has hit the deck, and thankfully it looks like James is okay as he gets his old Bultaco back to its feet. Trevor Calderwood going through there to take that third place position. But it's still Willie Burgess in first place on the 81 490 Michael. So there is your race leader, number 2, Willie Burgess on the 1981 490 Michael. Willie riding absolutely superbly in these very wet and difficult conditions. So as Willie comes up to conclude yet another lap, second position is still David Watson, number 8 there on the Trevor Calderwood 500 Honda. So as we look at our third place position rider there, Trevor Calderwood, number 32, as he takes the last lap flag. That looks like Tommy Merton going past there on the Husqvarna. Still very slippy at this point in the proceedings. So as we pick up our race leader as he heads towards the checker flag, it's going to be the first win of the day for number 2, Willie Burgess on the German-made Michael. Willie has ridden superbly in this race, led this race from the start gate and right up to now when he takes the checkered flag. So it's a win for Willie Burgess in race 1. Okay, next up we have the youth classes on the 125 and 85cc big wheel machines. Green flag is good to go. We have the 15-second board up. And as these little buzzers leave the start line and head up the hill, looks like another good start from number 15, Callum Clint. As they head up the very wet Pearson Hill, looks like we have a faller in the corner, but he has just remounted and good to go by the looks of it. So as we look for a race leader coming down the hill, as we look at second place position rider, that looks like young Callum Clint, number 15, on that 85cc little KTM. Callum riding really well in these very slippy conditions.
So they're coming right up the street there first of four laps there. And as I said, I think it was number 15 Callum Clint who won these couple of races last night. It's not condition, but we'll see what the race order is then.
So as we wait for a race leader to ascend the hill, it looks like number 23 is your race leader, who unfortunately is another one of the riders that are not listed in my race program. Second place position man is still number 15, that's Callum Clint. So as the rest of the riders head up the hill, number 29 there, that looks like Jay Macaulay, who is just coming through. So as we look towards our race leader in this 125 and 85cc big wheel race, it's still number 23 on what looks like our KTM. As you can see, the riders slipping and sliding their way across this very slippy racetrack. Number 15 there, Callum Clint, still in second position. Number treble 7 there coming towards us, that looks like Ben Morrow on the 125 KTM. So as we look at second place position rider, that's Callum Clint on the 85cc big wheel KTM. Number 23, of course, is still our race leader. As number 23 comes up to take the last lap flag in this 125 and big wheel 85cc class race. So there is your race leader as he heads towards the checkered flag. Once more, apologies for not being able to name the rider, as he appears to not be listed in the race programme, but nevertheless riding a superb race on this little KTM.
Thank you very much. Number 29, that's great. Thank you.
So there's your race leader, number 23, as he descends to the bottom section of the track. And so as your race leader comes towards the checkered flag, it's still number 23 on the very quick little KTM as he slips and slides his way across the checkered flag. Okay, next up we are back to the vintage bikes again in the pre-1977 class. We had some good racing from this class on the Friday race programme, as we are just waiting on the green flag to tell everyone this race is good to go. It looks like we have the green flag. 15-second board will now be going up as the riders get ready to leave the line in this pre-1977 class race. So as they head up the hill, it's James Thompson once again who takes the early lead. Number 10 there is John Fleming as the riders make their way up this very slick Pearson Hill. So as we pick up your race leader, it looks like it's still James Thompson, this time of course riding his 360cc CZ. So it's James Thompson first, Harry Stitt there in second position on the CCM. Looks like John Griffiths, number 33, on the CCM in third. But it looks like we have a change of leader at the front. It looks like Harry Stitt is now your race leader on the CCM. James Thompson seems to be slowing slightly, whether he has some kind of mechanical problem with that CZ, I don't know. Seems to be beginning to pick up speed once again, but your race leader is still Harry Stitt on the 500 CCM. James Thompson in second on the CZ. Third place man looks like it's John Griffiths, also mounted on an Alan Clues CZ. John Fleming going through there, number 10 on the CZ. Ian Robertson coming through. Adrian Lappin just ahead of him. And number 333 there is Terry McKee on his Honda CR125 Elsinore Screamer. But here is your race leader. It's still Harry Stitt on the CCM. Your race leader, number 111. Now Harry of course rides this CCM and also one of Cecil Pearson's lovely Rickman Jap machines. So in this first pre-1977 class race of the day, it's still Harry Stitt on the CCM who is your current race leader. These big CCMs ideally suited of course to these wet and sticky racing conditions. The CCMs of course made famous by the entrepreneur Alan Clues, who started the CCM factory way back in the early 1970s. Number 12 there, that's Adrian Lappin, also mounted on one of those Alan Clues CCMs. So here is your battle for first position in this pre-1977 class race. It's Harry Stitt on the CCM, your current race leader, with James Thompson on the 360 CZ in second. It seems that the earlier troubles that James had with the CZ in the first lap or two seem to have disappeared, as he seems to have all the speed back once more on that Czechoslovakian CZ. But as they head towards us to complete yet another lap, it's Harry Stitt on the CCM. So it's still Harry Stitt on the Alan Clues CCM in first position. James Thompson, number 26 on the 360 CZ, as both these riders start their last and final lap of this pre-77 class race. So it looks like it's going to be a good battle to the checkered flag between Harry Stitt and James Thompson, but it's James Thompson with the advantage as they head down the hill. Harry Stitt there on the CCM in second position. Two-stroke versus British four-stroke machine. But it's still James Thompson who is your race leader, with Harry Stitt close behind, number 111. So as they head down to the bottom end of the track for the final time, it's still James Thompson on the Czechoslovakian CZ who leads Harry Stitt on the CCM. Harry Stitt's taking a wider line into the corner to maybe get more traction, but as they make the turn, it's still James Thompson on the CZ. So as they head towards us, it's still James Thompson leads Harry Stitt on the CCM, but it looks like it's going to be a win for James Thompson. As Harry Stitt just seems to have, I think Harry Stitt stole that race right at the checkered flag. Okay, our final race in this part 3 video is the kids on their 65s and 85s small wheel. Now the top part of the racetrack had to be converted for these little bikes due to some of the riders struggling to get up Pearson Hill, so the track was modified ever so slightly for these little kids' bikes. Conditions, of course, not the best for these little machines, but with that track modification, it eliminates these riders trying to make their way up Pearson Hill. So as we watch the riders coming round in this 85cc and 65cc small wheel race, as we look to pick up your race leader. Now it looks like number 778 is your race leader on the little Yamaha. Unfortunately, another one of the riders that's not listed in my race program. And number 93 going through there, that looks like Callum Pearson on the little KTM Screamer, as we watch the rest of the pack making their way across start and finish line. So as we take a look at the race leader, it looks like Callum Pearson has momentarily taken the lead. Number 778 in second position, although number 778 appears to have overhauled him up the hill there. Callum Pearson looks like he is now in second position. So as we look at some more of the riders heading up the hill, number 100 there, it looks like Ben Ford going through on the little KTM. And so as the last lap flag goes out for your race leader, number 778. Once again, I do apologise for not being able to name some of these riders. It's not an easy task if you do not have their names listed in the day's race programme. But it looks like it's going to be a very comfortable win for number 778 on that very light and nimble little Yamaha. Now don't forget, you can see all the remaining action from the Saturday event of this 2-day charity scramble event at Ballysally Road coming up soon on my YouTube channel. And so as a reminder of our riders cross the finish line for the last race in this part 3 video, please stay tuned to my YouTube channel for more racing from this 2-day event here at Ballysally Road, coming soon in part 4. This video was brought to you in association with WorldSport, the world's #1 supplier for all your off-road and leisure sportswear. Just visit their online website for more details.